Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Broke to Brokers YouTube channel. My name's Cameron, and today we're going to be talking about a company I really had a lot of initial belief in, and it's just unfortunate how things kind of played out. So I'm doing this as more of like a educational, documentational type of video, where I wanted to walk you through a promising company in a very highly developed, like an innovative type of tech branch here. We're talking about Mynaric AG. This company essentially they design laser focused devices that can communicate high bandwidth connectivity. Like basically, it allows you to send gigabit speed through space. So it's pretty crazy technology. It's also known as um, free space optics. It's pretty revolutionary because current radio frequencies are the only way for communication in deep space and even in just plain, outer space. When you get more inner space, obviously you have more high speed connectivities that can send information without needing lasers. But when we're talking about in space, there's really no other options than just sending signals. And the thing about radio frequency, it's going to send it like a wave, right? So these frequencies, they are slower in speed, whereas they can transfer data a long ways. It's just too slow for any significant type of speed you would need for, like, for instance, video footage. If we wanted to have video footage right now, the only way is to record it, pre-record it, right? You can't have live streaming video coverage in, let's say, the moon, which I think that Elon Musk and companies like Intuitive Machines would really like to see live streaming HD quality streams from space. Anyways, I digress. This company was kind of in the niche of being able to provide a technology that was going to do that using this laser communication. So that's what I wanted to talk about because it was pretty innovative. We had companies like Rocket Labs sign with Mynaric AG because their actual product, this Condor MK2 and now the MK3, were pretty revolutionary. They were kind of changing the way we could send data in real time at a very high speed. In fact, right now, the only percentage of laser satellites is less than 1%. So it means the vast majority of all the satellites in space right now are still using 80-year-old radio communication. And there's nothing wrong with it. Like, it works, it's reliable, we understand it to a great T. But this was one of the biggest companies that were creating a laser focused communication. Now, I want to talk about, the most recent news. So, February 7th, so literally just 2 days ago, it's kind of funny that we had a spike up in price. I think a lot of people kind of didn't understand the idea of this bridge loan. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit. I don't understand it greatly, I want to mention, but through reading, Stock Titan and then doing a little bit of research on bridge loans, this is not good. It makes it sound kind of nice. Like, yeah, they secured $28 million. That's great. And they agreed to a $25 million restructuring loan. So these are like, this is a lot of money, especially when we're talking about a company with only 9.7 million market cap. Securing that type of money is pretty impressive, but that is all due to the fact that they are going through because they're a German they're a German type of company. They're from Germany, right? So there's an act that they can enter, the StaRUG, or let me find it here. Sorry, hang on a second. I'm kind of confusing myself real quick here. Let me find my bearings a little bit. Let me just go over the actual article here. So it's called StaRUG. So under StaRUG, they're going to reorganize. But here's the thing is they're basically they're filing for bankruptcy, basically, is how I understand it. Because basically, it will waive the 100 million. Yeah, you heard me right. 100 million in debt. It's going to waive all that. But it's terrible for shareholders because we will lose basically all of our value in this company. But it will allow them to basically start anew, but under different ownership. So basically, they will be able to relieve themselves of 116 million. So, yeah, right here, 116 million in existing loans. So waiver of it. But they will face immediate insolvency risk without restructuring. This is if it gets denied, they will have to essentially pay all that money right away. At that point, they would just be bankrupt. But this is kind of like a lesser version of being bankrupt, from what I understand. But existing shareholders likely to lose 100% of their investment. So it's really bad for shareholders. In fact, they got a NASDAQ notification that they have failed to do a 12-month shareholder meeting. And I think this is why. The reason why is because they know that they were basically selling their shareholders. They were getting rid of them. They're completely done. Like, they accrued way too much debt. They couldn't get the agreements that they needed to start paying off some of these loans. And the debt just increased and increased. We'll look at the numbers because it's quite staggering how in just a few years' time they accrued so much debt. It's insane. It's just really bad management from the outside looking in. You know, I understand companies like this, they need a lot of R&D, research and development. You got to spend a lot in that to get a product that's worth a huge agreement or a purchase from companies like NASA, or contractual agreements from other leading space organizations. But they couldn't do that. They did get a Rocket Labs agreement, but it wasn't enough, actually. I think that they just tried to blow this whole thing up too quickly when they should have slowed it down a bit. But yeah, they'll likely be delisted. All company assets are likely to be encumbered as collateral, so they won't have any. Like I said, when they're starting new, they're starting anew. But this will allow them to essentially start up again, but under new ownership. So it's kind of tragic. Let's take a look at the numbers. I do want to go over that. But yeah, I mean, they got two NASDAQ notifications, one for the shareholders meeting that they didn't do, and then another one because they were, under the $1 minimum price that they needed to be for it to remain listed. They likely would have gotten an extension on that, but again, I don't think that they were even trying to stay listed because they know this whole thing's going down. But yeah, let's look at the numbers here because it's just interesting. What I think we can learn from a stock like this is the warning signs, because there's a lot of micro cap stocks out there in technology that seem like they can do really well, but if they can't get this under control, they're not going to be around forever, right? So let's break this down semi-annually just so we can see really where it starts scaling up. So obviously, I mean, from the start, from when they got listed, they had debt, but from the start, 2x your operating income, like, in debt is crazy. So, I mean, look at these numbers. It's insane how much debt that they accrued. And now we're up to full amount of net income to common stock. Like, look at this. Basically, that's sixfold of their market cap that they're in debt by. Free cash flow isn't much better. I mean, yes, they probably got some loans that helped with that cash flow, but still, I mean, minus 17 million in the last quarter. But they never started off with any cash at any point. Now, the only thing that kind of was positive is that they were I want to say that they were increasing the revenue, but I mean, look at this operating revenue. They got 10 million 4 years ago, and they never got close to that since. In fact, they went negative revenue in 2021. So yeah, it's just overall a bad picture. I mean, if you're seeing market caps with, negative EBITDA of 45 million, which is 5 times their market value, the market capitalization. Yeah, I mean, it's probably a bad sign. Net income minus 103 million. So, all in all, I just want to say it's things like that you can look at for warning signs. I mean, them not doing a shareholder communication. I mean, that also is kind of a red flag. That, I mean, there's no reason not to, at least communicate what you're working on. If not announce anything, huge, at least announce that you guys are in the process of meeting some type of goal. But they didn't even do that. I just think that Mynaric AG just really had a really bad management. It's one of those things that's like good product, probably a very high demand product that could be used in so many different ways, especially with the booming space race that we're in, the new age space race that we entered, with the likes of Tesla, or not Tesla, excuse me, SpaceX innovating so much, Rocket Labs, now even Intuitive Machines creating lunar equipment like rovers and all this stuff that they have in the pipeline. And then to see, a company like this that could have capitalized heavily on the communication part of that just completely crumbled just due to poor management. It really goes to show that sometimes even if you have a great product in the stock market, it can't always fit a need because of poor planning on the company's behalf and how they manage their overall profits and value and stuff. But anyways, let me know what you guys think of this one. Or were you guys shareholders? I've been looking at it, interested in it, but when we're looking at like the price, whenever I looked at it, it just never seemed like a good time to buy in. Um, I mean, they held that $4 mark for a very long time considering their debt. Even up until last year, August 2024, they held that $4 mark. And I think the debt just got too much, and they just kind of just realized that they're probably done. So they just let it go. But yeah, interesting company, interesting product. And like I said, they were innovating stuff. Like they were getting agreements with some space companies like Rocket Labs, and there's a few others, but they weren't as big as Rocket Labs. Still, I digress. Hope you guys find some good investments, and I still think space in general, like space stocks, are going to do really well in 2025. I'm excited to see where Rocket Labs and Intuitive Machines, where they go in 2025, because I bet they're going to just continue to flourish, especially with the space race that we're in right now. But I'll catch you guys in the next video. It's been your boy Cameron here on the Broke to Brokers YouTube channel. Peace out.